Hi everybody, Joe Appello here, George Connor on my left. Welcome to All Sports Talk with Joe and George. We're heading down toward the tail end of baseball. We'll hit that first.
For a lot of people, baseb's already over.
Races, yeah. As soon as football starts.
Team to the north.
Boom. Yeah, well, Red Sox, how are they doing?
They're done. They're making tea times right now.
Dave Dombrowski's gone. They fired him.
Yeah.
That was kind of interesting. They got rid of him. I guess he really signed some bad contracts with David Price, Chris Sale, and Evaldi. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was like $213 million tied up in those three arms.
Yeah.
And Sale's hurt, and Price has been in and out, and Evaldi's been ineffective. So that's a huge, and they got some kind of crazy luxury tax. I don't kind of understand that, to be honest with you, but it's like I don't know, luxury tax is way up there too. They got to pay on all these salaries.
Yeah, once your team payroll goes above a certain amount, you got to pay. And that was back to
then they got a couple
smaller market teams.
They got a couple question marks, like Mookie Betts is going to be a free agent. He hasn't indicated at all that he wants to negotiate. He's going to wait till the season's over.
Yep.
So that's a big thing with them. What do they do with Betts? Do they pay him? Can they afford to pay him what he deserves? Mm-hmm. I mean, he's obviously one of the best players in the American League. Yep. And if they pay him, God knows where the payroll goes. It just skyrockets, and they're not even going to make the playoffs this year. So they had a tough stretch. Tough for the Red Sox. I mean, they got their top 4 or 5 batters are decent. Betts and Devers had a career year. J.D. Martinez does his usual tremendous. He's tremendous hitter, I think. Yep. And then Bogarts had a great year, and then Benintendi, average year. Everybody else had average years. Yeah. So and then Betts had an amazing year last year. So the combination of all those kind of doomed them. But Yankees continue to plug away. They're exactly tied today with the Astros for the best record in the American League.
Yeah. Which is a little surprising, to be honest.
As far as
strong as Houston is.
Yep.
And the amount of the season that the Yankees played with, some Band-Aid kind of lineup.
Right. All the injuries they've had.
So many games prior to the All-Star break, they had nobody. Yeah. Yeah. Not nobody, but a lot of their stars were out.
Right, and they're still vying for the best record in the league, which the number 1 seed gets to win the wild card, which would be between right now Tampa Bay, Cleveland, Oakland are fighting that out. Yeah. And then just say the Yankees had the best record, they would play one of those teams, whoever came out of that, and then the Astros would play the Twins. I think the first round's 3 out of 5, and the second round's 4 out of 7, I believe. Correct. The wild card's one game. Home field to the higher seeded wild card team. Yep. So that's going to be
what's the wild card right now? So you got Oakland in there, and then Tampa Bay's got a half a game lead on Cleveland.
Right, and then Cleveland's close. Yeah. So basically, there's 3 teams battling out for the right to be the wild card.
Yeah. Boston's 9 back in the wild card. They got 11 games to go, so
they get a shot. Yeah. Ooh, really bashing Boston today. Now, National League, Dodgers and Atlanta are division winners already, and then you've got Cardinals, Cubs, and Brewers fighting it out in the Central Division, right? Yeah. And you actually could have all 3 teams out of that division make the playoffs. Ironically, you could have the division winner, and then the next 2 would be the wild card, which is kind of crazy. Yeah. The way they kind of all play each other too in the next 2 weeks. I think there's 10 or 11 games. Most teams have 10 or 11 games left as we speak on the 18th of September. So the season kind of goes.
Washington's got a 1-game lead over Cleveland and Milwaukee.
We forgot about them too. Yeah, Washington.
A 1-game lead over Milwaukee and Chicago.
Right.
And then
Mets are 4 back?
They're 4 back. The Phillies are 4 back.
Okay.
So it's not looking too good there.
Yeah. The problem is that they all play each other. Right. I mean that's. Yeah. If you had a couple of those teams playing lousier teams and they got swept by those lousier teams, then Mets would have an outside shot.
Or playing
the Mets are playing them.
Or playing the Dodgers in the last week of the season where they're resting their players or something like that. But
that's the age-old question: is how do you go into the playoffs? Do you rest your guys? Are you better off like in a hot pennant race right to the very end? So you're playing pressure baseball, but you're using all your players. That's always an age-old question, how to deal with that.
To look at the model of who prepares them best for the playoffs, if you look at Belichick, they all play. Yeah. I mean, he might sit somebody at the end of the game.
Problem with the Yankees, Yankees are still in flux with their players. They have, now Hicks is probably done for the year. Tauchman's done for the year. Sanchez is rehabbing a little bit. Stan's rehabbing. Dylan Betances had a partial tear of his Achilles last night after he jumped off the mound or something crazy like that. So he's probably done. Oh my God! I mean, it's just like I think they're done. I personally think they might be done with Aaron Hicks. The guy just can't stay in the field. He's a really good player. I like him, but you know, these guys have been out for like months and months. Not even out for a week, like months.
Yeah.
They've been out, and they're obviously rehabbing and things like that. It's like Jed Lowry, same thing over the Mets. Yeah. Guy, they didn't get in the field for crying out loud. What the heck?
Yeah, right. When he finally got in there, you forgot he was it. You forgot he was in the organization.
Yeah, you need 4 months to get back. I mean, my goodness gracious. They're already done with Ellsbury. Ellsbury's like, where's he, Cancun somewhere? In Barbados, having a good time, collecting $25 million a year, whatever he gets. So, and now the things with the Yankees, they've got to play it where they've got their guys coming back, a la Stanton. Voigt's kind of back now. Urshela's kind of back now. Stanton especially has got to get 10 games in. Which would be like 30, 40 at bats before the playoffs start. You want to get him at least 30, 40, which is probably equivalent of a short spring training. Yeah. So you want to get him those at bats so he's ready to go. And it looks like he's going to have to play left field. Yeah. For them. Guardian center and Judge and right.
And I mean, so this time of year, all your triple, double A teams, they're done.
They're done. I think some are maybe still in the playoffs or maybe the finals. I'm not sure, but I think they might be done.
You can't rehab a guy in AAA right now.
Right.
So you see where you send him down in a rookie league or something like that.
That's why Severino pitched last night.
Yeah.
He was exciting. He was. But the Yankees' dilemma is that just say they start. Let's say that all the players are healthy. So Stan's in left, Guardian center, Judge in right, and then in the infield though, here's the problem: you've got Urshela, Didi, Gleyber Torres, and you got Voit, LeMahieu, and Encarnacion. Now, if you play LeMahieu at third, that means Urshela sits, and then you've got Voit at first and Encarnacion DH or vice versa. Yeah. Probably Voit would probably play first defensively, and then you've got Sanchez catching if he's healthy. So that's the dilemma they got. Defensively in left field, you've got Stan, who's average. Then you would probably have to play Maben as a defensive replacement toward the end of the game. Mm-hmm. And I guess, I don't know if they'll keep Clint Frazier up there or not, or they'll have to keep Urshela as a fifth infielder for sure. But the teams have 25-minute rosters for the playoffs. You can readjust that after every series. Right. So you're not stuck.
So if you need to do something special, the Yankees don't, but if you need to do something special for the wild card game, you do that. Now that's over.
Right.
Kind of like in golf with a stipulated round.
Right.
You have no idea what I'm talking about.
I have no idea. I just heard that golf thing and I heard that G word and boom.
Shut it down.
Shut it down. Well, it's interesting how teams approach the playoffs too, because it's a 25-man roster. So some go 13 and 12, 13 pitchers, 12 infielders, fielders, or vice versa, position players, I should say. And I don't know how the Yankees are going to approach that. I don't think CC makes the postseason roster.
Right. We talked about that.
Yeah, I don't think he makes it. He'll be the biggest cheerleader in the face of the earth. In the dugout. They're going to have to go with. Now you got Hap, Paxton, Tanaka, Severino, Ramon as your candidates to start games. At this point in time, I would say they're going to start probably Paxton or Tanaka in game one. The other guy in game two. Game three might be Severino to start the game as an opener. To go maybe more than 30, 40, 50, 60 pitches at the most, and bring in Chad Green or Herman or Luaga is good too. I mean, they've got the problem is with the Yankee starters, and they very rarely went over 6 innings, and now you got to rely on your bullpen for the whole playoff structure. Yeah. So that's another dilemma that they have to face. I'm not real big on having going bringing guys in and out every other batter. I mean, I think that's just it's tough to do. But anyway, so they had to set the rotation up right.
Situational. Got to come in and get one out.
And then they got to set their line. But I think Urshela sits though, I think LeMahieu plays third, and then maybe at the end of the game you put LeMahieu at first, and Urshela plays third defensively if you got a lead, or just take LeMahieu out. I don't know, how he's going to approach that. It's a lot of questions for Aaron Boone, and those are tough questions to answer. The only thing I don't like about the Yankees, I think, I want them to get a set lineup for the last 3, 4, 5 games, so they get a rhythm going. A set lineup where they know, who's batting what. Because Boone's lineups are like all over the place. I mean, he's got Didi hitting third sometimes, hitting fifth, and he's got, the only thing he always does is LeMahieu leads off and Judge hits second. Besides that, there's guys everywhere. Urshela's bats third sometimes. Yeah. And I personally don't like that. I like to have a set lineup. Like you see the Red Sox have their top 5 guys every time.
Right.
You got Betts, Devers, Bogarts, Martinez, and Benintendi. Those are the top 5 every time. And then the other 4 guys or whoever's playing that day. Yeah. Whether it's Brock Holt or the catchers or what. So I would like him to get some kind of continuity in the top of that lineup anyway. What it is, don't know. I think Boone overthinks it. I think he kind of, depends who's pitching and what. They have all these analytics now. The game is so analytical. It's hard to even go on your gut sometimes. Yeah, so I don't know. That's the only downside. Severino looked good yesterday, though. Yeah. 98 a couple times. Yeah. He was dealing. Yep. 4 shutout innings.
He hit 98?
He hit 98 one time, yeah. 97 a couple other times. I mean, the guy is, you got to remember, he was one of the best pitchers, if not the best pitcher in the American League about a year or 2 ago. Yeah. And he was touted as being that, potentially. Then you go to the other side, you got the Astros. You got Verlander, is just like, he's unhittable. And they had Garrett Cole.
Yeah. Houston's going to be tough to beat.
Houston's tough to beat, man. They've got those top 2 guys. They got Greinke as number 3. But,
the way, see how the pitching matchups turn out, and the best pitchers in baseball can give up 3 runs in the first 2 innings, and that changes it. Now the pitch counts up, and he only goes 5 innings deep, and see what happens.
The bugaboo you got about Verlander, he does give up the long ball. Yeah, he does. Right. He's prone to give up the long ball.
Make a couple mistakes early in the first 3 innings. Yeah. The pitch count goes up. Now they've got a great bullpen as well, so it's not like.
It's a great point. It's a stat that kind of goes unnoticed by the average fan is the pitch count, because you get a guy up there. I was watching the game last night, and Severino's first batter hit 12 pitches. Yeah. First guy. Yeah. He's fouling balls off right and left, and he got 12 pitches into the first guy, and you want 15 to 20 at the most per inning. Right. You can handle that, but 15 ideally is what you want. 75 pitches after 5 or 90 pitches after 6, and then you figure it out. Yeah. But you get these guys that are.
You see that a lot. A pitcher be cruising along, and then he gets 3rd, 4th inning. Yep. And a guy gets a 13, 14, 15 pitch at bat, and it really upsets the rhythm. It does. Mentally, now the pitcher can start to get frustrated. Yep. That's also when mistakes happen in the field. Yeah. You got a 15 pitch at bat, especially in the American League with the Yankees. Yeah. That could take 6 minutes.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah. So then you're right. That does play into the Yankees' favor with their pitch count, and then they can go. They have the bullpen to handle that if the pitch counts do go up on their pitchers, where other teams might not have that. Especially 4th, 5th, or 6th inning guy that can really come in and shut it down. That's the difference. Yeah. So, but it's so important to make these decisions and get the right thing going on, and lay the groundwork there. So it should be very, very interesting and very exciting. I think anybody could win it. Mm-hmm. I mean, the Astros obviously and the Yankees are the top 2, but the Twins are. They can hit the ball too. They don't have a shutdown pitcher though. They lost Pineda for PED for 60 games. So he was their number 3 guy, 2 guy. So and then in the wild card, that shouldn't be a factor. But I think everybody wants to see Yankees and Astros, and then maybe Yankees Dodgers would probably be the biggest draw of everything.
I'm sure the networks are rooting for that one.
Now, is anybody going to beat the Dodgers in the National League, do you think?
New York Mets. New York Mets are 4 back from the wild card. They got 11 games to go. Okay. They're losing today, but that's okay. Game's not over.
Okay. You're delusional.
Yeah, pretty much. No, I don't. Hey.
Dodgers are.
Now, best of 5. that's a short series.
Yeah.
You know, like in golf, here we go again. In golf, for like USAM, big championships like that, it's a 36-hole match play event.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of time, and over 36 holes, generally you're going to get the best player.
Yeah.
In an 18-hole match, I always say, a lot can happen in a short match like that.
Right. Sure.
So 3 out of 5, a couple weird things happen, and maybe somebody does get by the Dodgers. I don't expect it to happen, but it can.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they're not and a couple other guys. I mean, Bueller's tough. Rajan Rule there, he pitched well against the Mets the other night, but prior to that he had 3 or 4 rough outings.
Yep.
So,
to me, you almost want your pitchers to have a couple rough outings, kind of get it out of the way.
Get it out of the way.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care who you are, it's going to happen. Syndergaard a couple weeks ago gave up 10 runs.
Yeah, the first inning.
And then he came back the next start, and I think he had 10, 11 strikeouts, and he couldn't touch him.
It's true.
So sometimes it's not a bad idea to get that out of your system.
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking of my Mets,
what's going on with them?
They're not going to get it. They got, like I say, they got 11 games to go. They're losing as we speak right now on September the 18th to the Rockies. They won last night against them. But still, I'm optimistic to the future. They've got so many good young players.
Yeah.
And I'll get into some stats with some of the players, but some inside information.
Give it to me.
Back when the Wilpons were interviewing for the next GM, they, a lot of guys coming through, and so something like this happens. So, Joe, we're gonna interview you. What's your plan? Well, over the next 5 years, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. And they hired Brody Van Wagen, an agent, had never worked in the front office of a baseball team.
Right.
So somebody on the inside over in Bristol tells me he was the only guy that went in there and said, no, we're not rebuilding, we're gonna win now. Okay. Which they did. They're not gonna get to the playoffs, but it's September 18th, and they're still a viable team that's in there.
Yeah.
So he made a couple of moves. We'll see, the Cano Diaz thing. Yeah. Cano was what it is. What it is.
Sure.
I think the Diaz thing next year, or the year after, could pay huge benefits. Yeah. But I thought it was interesting that he was the one guy that said, no, this isn't a 5-year plan. I mean, hopefully they have a plan in place for the next 5 years.
Fans don't care.
But let's win now.
Fans don't care. Like, it's okay. 3 years will see me.
Not in New York.
Nah, no one.
Not in New York.
Everybody wants it yesterday.
Yeah, unless you're the Knicks, they just keep doing
it. You've already given up hope anyway.
But
that's true.
Jeff McNeil, who's played out of position all season.
He's had a hell of a year, hasn't he?
Second baseman. He's playing left field. Yeah. He's batting .317.
Just a good hitter.
224 hits. .317. Rookie season.
Incredible.
21 home runs. Alonso hit his 48th home run last night.
Gonna get 50.
He's 3 back to tie in Judge.
Yep.
With 11 games to go, so it's getting a little dicey.
Yep.
Hopefully he can play a lot in Philadelphia in those next 11 games. I think they have one series. Rosario, who I've loved since the day he came up.
Playing well.
Just keeps getting better. Better fielder, better arm, good range.
Yep.
He's batting .293. I would say the one disappointing thing is he's only got 17 stolen bases.
Yeah.
I really see him as the this era's
should be a table setter leadoff guy. Should be a leadoff guy.
And he tends to bat. He likes to lead off with McNeil. McNeil batting 300 something.
Yeah.
If Rosario bats first, and then you got McNeil behind him, now McNeil's not going to strike out much, so you can run him a little bit more. So like I say, Rosario still just keeps getting better. J.D. Davis, not quite a full-time player, but he's batting .303 with 19 home runs. And your boy Dom Smith, not a lot of at bats, but still batting .278.
Cheerleader.
The cheerleader.
Head cheerleader. He's always on a bat.
So, great squad. I don't think we talked about it. No, because we had it on the show. On September 11th, so historically, back in 2001, it was September 21st, 10 days after the towers fell. The Mets were the first game back. Right. They'd canceled all the games. Yep. Mets came back. They went to the league, and they said, we want to wear first responder hats.
Yep.
They were going to mix it up. Fire department, police, whatever it happens to be.
Yep.
The league said no. Players wore them anyway, and they all paid a fine.
Yep.
Alonso, again, he's a rookie.
Yep.
He's a 26, 27-year-old rookie. Yep. But he's a rookie, and he's become a real leader of that team.
Yep.
And he went to the league, and the league said, no, he can't wear the hats. when they were in Philadelphia a month before that, he got everybody's shoe size.
Yep.
Paid this company to custom make these spikes for that night. Yep. You know, Stars and Stripes, never forget, always remember. You know, they were really, really cool. Yep. And everybody wore them. And for a rookie to do that, I think you know, he really has put himself, I think, as a leader of that team.
Did you know the box score of that game? 9-11?
That was crazy.
9-11-0.
Yeah, they won.
I mean, come on,
they
are
won
you
9-0. 11 hits.
No errors? Are you kidding me?
Now.
Oh my God.
Now you're up 9-0. Okay, so you can do whatever you want. In the 8th inning, do you tell the guy going up to bat, don't get a hit? Let's just leave it right where it is.
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, Alonso went
that was
out
kind
to
of eerie. Yeah.
J.D. Davis crashed into the wall last week.
Yeah.
And Alonso ran out there and made sure he was all right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Frazier, who's not putting
up
a
all right
numbers,
down the stretch. Yeah.
But you know, a lot of big hits as they were kind of getting themselves into the race.
Yeah.
And but again, whereas I think part of the Cano deal was let's bring in Cano as a leader and somebody's been there. Hasn't really done that. Frazier's been that guy. He's been the veteran guy to help these young kids kind of.
You can carry a guy like Frazier if your center fielder has some production. They got Conforto. To me, he's kind of overrated, but he should be a lot better than he is. J.D. Davis had a pretty good year, and then you've got center field was kind of a mess, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Nimmo was hurt all year. Garris was, what's he been, 212 or whatever, and then they don't have. Your corner outfielders should give you 20 to 30 home runs.
Yep.
And then your corner infielders, same thing. And up the middle, whatever you get. That's why Gleyber Torres had his 38th the other night. I mean, it's incredible for a second base at 38 home runs.
Yeah.
But but those are Wilson Ramos had a good year hitting wise. He had 28 game inning streak, was it, or something like that?
I think it ended at 28.
And he was hot for a while.
He's almost 300. He's 290 something.
So he did well.
Yeah.
They have some pieces.
The other strong thing of the Mets, obviously, is their starting pitching.
Yeah.
So
I think if Cano had a
like numbers,
like year, like he could have or potentially could have, they would have made the playoffs. Yeah, if he would have stayed healthy and hit 300 with 30 home runs, because he's got that potential to do that, but he didn't do it.
Yeah.
So I mean that's part of production. And then you could carry Frazier as your eighth hitter, eighth place hitter, hitting the bottom here and there and playing some great defense.
Yep.
I like Joe Panic too. He's a little second baseman, serviceable.
The thing is, how many second basemen do we have?
That's the thing. I mean, as a backup here and there. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at some point. I mean, McNeil is obviously. I think he better be. There for the long haul.
What position would he play forever?
Second base.
Second base.
I mean, that's his deal.
Okay.
I mean, he's done fine in left field, but you'd like to say, okay, this is for the long haul here.
Yeah.
Let's make sure that we get people into their position.
Yeah.
So.
But they got the question is those starting pitchers. They're going to keep them all. They keep Stroman, Wheeler, Syndergaard, DeGrom, Seth Lugo, the best relief pitcher in baseball, quote unquote.
Best reliever in July, not necessarily in August, September, where it's
hard times. I put him in there. That's what Calorie said. But he's pitched well, and Justin Wilson pitched well too. Yeah. So and then like I say, you get any ideas? Their bullpen's okay. Familiar, hit the road. It's a road jack.
Yeah.
Enough of him.
Couldn't really understand that logic.
Load the base on walk guys the base hit and then pitch out of it and then give up a run.
But this year he's doing it in the 8th inning instead of the 9th.
Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah. Get the misery over quicker.
Yeah.
But I like to see him keep that core starting.
Yeah.
And then Matz is the 5th starter. I mean, it's not bad.
Yeah. So DeGrom's got a 2.6 ERA. Stroman 3.8. Vargas gone. Wheeler 4.9, Syndergaard 4.1, but he's had, it's been those spiky starts from Syndergaard.
Matt's about that, same.
Matt's 4.1.
Yeah. So you got to, but you look at number 1 through 5. You can compare that 1 through 5 to any team in baseball.
Sure. Yeah.
As far as overall strength.
Except maybe the Astros.
Yeah. Because their top 3 are much better, but.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a good basis to keep, and then you keep your other 4 or 5 core guys that the Mets played this year, and go from there.
Yeah.
And then when Cespedes gets back.
I was going to say that when you're talking about center field. We don't have to do anything. Just wait for Cespedes to come back.
Wouldn't that be funny? Yeah.
Everybody say who?
Yeah. He's running out, put JD in the left and Four in center and Cespedes in right or vice versa, whatever. Yeah, that would be something to watch. But he drive his horse in. All right. So baseball-wise, getting down to the wire next 2 weeks, we'll find out, obviously, who makes the playoffs and who's playing who. Who do you pick to win the World Series at this point, right now as we sit here?
I hate to say it, Joe. I think the Astros, yeah.
Astros, yeah.
Yeah, I think they're
Astros, Dodgers.
They're just too solid.
Yeah. Kershaw's been pitching lights out too. I mean, he never pitches well postseason, but lately he's been dealing. So he's definitely a factor.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about Atlanta too much, so Atlanta's not bad.
They're young.
Guys. Yeah, young.
They're young, so we'll see what happens in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Young pitching staff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that should be. We'll see what happens. It's fun to watch, though. I mean, going out to the wire.
Yeah.
But hopefully the Yankees can play the Astros in the championship series as opposed to each other before that. And I don't think they will, but
yeah.
So that would be fun to watch. The Yankees, if healthy, Stanton might kill them in the playoffs. So if they got to play him, he might hurt them if he's not ready to go and he's not. He'll hit a bomb every 3 games, and then after that he'll strike out 10 times. So I'm not a real Stanton fan. I'm just not. I'd rather have I don't know who, but I don't know. Too bad Carcione couldn't play left or Voit, but they can't. So,
yeah.
And I wish Talkman was still healthy because I liked the way he played. But it should be fun to watch. All right, turning to pro football now. The Met got a rash of injuries over the weekend with quarterbacks. It's a shame. It's a shame. Drew Brees, that was a tough one.
Ugh.
That was a tough one. His hand. I mean, couldn't grip the football. Follow through.
Right as he's following through, defensive player put his hands up. Boom.
Yeah. I mean, that's a guy that hasn't been hurt. 19 years hasn't really been hurt. Missed too many games.
Yeah.
At all.
Yep.
You can't take that for granted. If some of these guys are healthy. Just takes one hit.
Yeah.
And you got Ben Roethlisberger who hurt his arm on the throw, but I'm guessing that had to be a previous issue. There had to be something wrong with it before that. You don't just throw the ball and all of a sudden, you need elbow surgery.
Yeah.
And the week before he gets to New England, he was throwing dead ducks up there. He was throwing ducks up there everywhere. Yeah. Now, he might have had an injury and they shot him up or gave him some medicine and it just popped on him. That's my guess.
Yep.
I don't know anything,
Yeah.
And now he's done for the year.
Yep.
He didn't look that good anyway in the first game and a half.
Like you said, most likely there was an injury there, right?
Yeah, existing injury, yeah.
And then my New York Jets.
Boy, that was tough. Woo. Now, Darnold might be out.
What, no,
8 weeks, 10 weeks?
He's got mono.
Yeah.
Which I think when I heard that was the first time I'd heard about mononucleosis in a long time.
And you think, okay, it's like a cold, be out a week or two?
Wow. It's because I can remember back, I think maybe I was in high school or something, and a kid had it, and it can impact. I mean, if you get hit to your side, your liver is spleen. I mean, all kinds of stuff. So it's not something to mess around with. But like you say, there's no. Take these antibiotics for 5 days and you're done.
Good,
here's a Z-Pack. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, just
so we don't know. Now my question was, or is, I mean, what do you do now? I mean, now you're down to your 3rd string quarterback because your 2nd string quarterback his foot literally almost fell off of his leg.
Did Simeon actually break his leg in that or ankle? What was it actual?
I didn't see what the diagnosis was. Like I said, it almost came off.
It looked like it was
almost
sideways.
Kind of ripped completely.
Yeah,
off
it looked like it was sideways.
So I'm not counting on him. So
no,
now,
done.
I mean, I hate to say it, but do you put Le'Veon Bell out there next week?
Killed, yeah.
And, I don't know.
I tell you,
I guess you can't do that because the fans will just kill you. Okay, you're giving up the season.
I would give Kaepernick a call. I don't care. I would. Why not?
Really?
Tell him to stand up.
Really, Joe?
Tell him to stand up. Probably dying to play, right? He's fresh. What else you got? I mean, who's their backup quarterback? Did they sign anybody?
They haven't picked up anybody that I've seen this.
Because I know somebody picked up Paxton Lynch.
By the way, Breeze, they didn't put him on the IL, DL?
PUP or something.
Yeah, so he's technically on the roster and he's day-to-day, so whatever that means. He's going to throw left-handed.
But Paxton Lynch was signed by somebody as a backup.
I saw that, yeah.
Who the heck signed him? Oh, I think it was Pittsburgh did.
Okay.
It was Pittsburgh. So they have Mason Rudolph and now Paxton Lynch. I forgot about him, boy. I'll tell you what. And then Carson Wentz took a couple shots in the Sunday night game in Atlanta. Holy mackerel, he got a couple. He got his bell rang a couple. He's in a freaking tent the whole time.
Yeah.
You know, these guys, you look at a guy like Brady, he takes that ball and throws it at somebody's feet. He never gets hit.
Nope.
You live for another down, throw it out of bounds, throw it to the cheerleaders in the stands, you do whatever you do. But don't take that hit. Don't be a hero. You know, just don't. It's just not worth it.
Yeah.
I mean.
And we've said it before, but, you know, he's also on an offense that can convert a 3rd and 9 like it's third and 1.
It's hard to compare him with anybody, though. That's true.
Yeah.
The way it plays out. But it's tough when these quarterbacks go down. I mean, you're not going to watch the Saints to watch Teddy Bridgewater play. You know, I mean, who cares?
Yeah,
you know, I mean, but I think he's serviceable. I think he can hold the fort for them.
The good news is, the Jets with all these injuries and everything, they got the Patriots this week, so they can kind of mail it in.
They're looking at 0-9.
Yeah.
They're looking at 0-9.
Yeah.
Realistically, I mean, without even.
Now you get Darnold back. Things can change. You know, when they get to the softer part of their schedule. But
Giants are looking at same thing.
Yeah.
Although the Giants play Tampa Bay, you can see Daniel Jones coming in there and just kind of lighting it up against Tampa Bay because Tampa Bay's Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
So they might win that. But it's a good time to make it.
And is that now? I mean, is Manning done?
Well, from all the indications and all the news you hear, is that it's a change in the guard. I don't believe that. I think they go with Jones as long as he can hold his own, and then they always have Eli to throw in there. You know.
Okay. But you think Jones is the starter now?
I think he is. Yeah, okay. I think he is.
Yeah,
I was telling you before.
This is Manning's last contract here?
That's it, yeah.
It is.
He's done, yeah. He rides off in the sunset at the end of the year. Yeah, he's
rides off in the sunset, middle of October.
He's 6 and 28 the last 34 games.
Yeah.
Which is worse than the Cleveland Browns. Which nobody understands. Nobody even looks at it that way.
Yeah.
He just, it's hard to say, but the game's passing by. He's too slow. It's too mechanical.
Yep.
He still has a good arm. But what kind of team can you play on nowadays? The game has evolved to a game of mobility, creating your own passing lanes and escapability. He has none of those.
Right.
So he's just not fit for today's game anymore.
Yeah.
You could have the greatest offensive line in the world, but and then his numbers, he doesn't have guys that can get great separation as far as wideouts and whatnot.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Bell and the Jets, Barkley to the Giants. I mean, teams are keen on those guys, and they're not going to let them beat them.
Yeah.
They're great players.
Yeah, so the Jets have Patriots this week, then Eagles, Cowboys, Patriots again.
Oh, my God.
Jaguars, Dolphins. Let's talk about the Dolphins for a little bit.
Wow, huh?
I think they called you the other day, right, for the defensive coordinator job?
Yeah, I turned them down. I got no problems.
What was it, 72-3 or something in their first 2 games?
I gave up 110 points, I thought it was, something like that.
Was it that many?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't that many, was it? Over 50 twice?
They have 10 points. They've scored 10. I wonder how many they gave it up, though. I don't know.
Let me see if I can get that.
43,
I think it was
43 first game. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can't be 100.
Yeah.
It will be, though. Yeah, but they're having a. And then guys want out. Mika Fitzpatrick wanted out. They traded him to the Steelers for a first-round pick. Now the Steelers have 3 first-round picks now, and depends obviously where they are as far as the teams that gave it to them. So
I'm sorry to interrupt, Joe. Yeah. To answer your question, the Jets.
59, and 43. Yeah.
Okay.
102. 102 to 10.
Wow.
First 2 games. Yeah. It was 102. Yeah. That's 59 against the Ravens.
Let's see here.
Yeah, 59 to 10, and then 43 zip. Those are their first 2. Yeah.
David Fales is the backup to Luke Falk.
Wow. What did I say?
I don't know. He's the backup quarterback for the New York Jets. That's who he is.
You play in college? He played at Massapequa High School or something?
Played at D4 school, man.
Played Don Bosco Prep over there in New Jersey or something. Oh, my God.
He's played in 3 games, worked with Adam Gase in Chicago and Miami.
What makes everyone think that Adam Gase is like this offensive guru?
Fales was in training camp with the Detroit Lions. Which reminds me of a story. Guy finds a genie lamp, right? Rubs the lamp. Genie comes out.
It's clean joke?
Clean joke.
Okay.
You don't have to bleep this one out.
Okay.
Genie comes out. Says, "You get one wish. One? I only get one wish?" He says, "Yeah, you only get one wish." He says, "I want to live forever." Genie says, I can't grant that sort of a wish." Guy thinks about it for a second. He says, "I want to live until the Detroit Lions win the Super Bowl." Genie says, "It's pretty smart. Lions are never going to win anything."
You can live forever without even.
See, there you go.
Your wish is granted.
That's today's joke, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Shows at 9 and 11. Tip your waitress. Try the veal.
Bada boom, bada bang. All right, so football-wise, you got Kansas City Chiefs are 2-0. They're rolling.
Yep.
The Ravens look fantastic.
Is it Thursday night game?
No, it's who the heck is it?
Oh,
Titans
Jacksonville and Titans.
Yeah, real barn burner there.
Yeah.
The Patriots just look unstoppable now with Antonio Brown. We can talk about him for a minute or two.
Yeah.
Somebody else accused him of something, exposing himself or something stupid.
Yeah. One of his trainers.
And then some girl was painting a mural at his house, and he came out out of the shower with a towel on. Did you hear that one?
Oh, I haven't heard
that was another one, a new one, second one, yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't get done with the first one yet.
So Kraft immediately, his response was, had we known that any of this was going on, we wouldn't have signed him.
Yeah.
Because what's going to end up happening is the league's going to investigate whether or not, on the legal side, if something happens, but the league investigates, and the league has the behavior policy, and they can suspend him for.
I mean, I'm not defending the guy, but I mean, these football players with their lifestyle, I bet you every guy's had that situation. Not every guy, but you're in a situation with not a good situation. People come out and talk. I mean, it runs both ways. And obviously you can't put yourself in a situation, but man, people come out like 2 years later and say, oh.
Yeah.
And you got to prove yourself innocent, which is a tough thing.
Right.
But Brown, I don't know, but he's an immense talent. That's for damn sure.
He is. Now, another part of that, forgetting the allegations and stuff like that of the harassment and inappropriate behavior, there's a lot of conspiracy theory, collusion type thing for him to have gotten to the Patriots. There was no way that the Steelers were going to let him go to the Patriots. That wasn't going to happen.
Right.
He wanted
as far
to play,
as trading him.
Right. But he wanted to play for the Patriots.
Right.
So you go to Oakland.
Right.
You just make a big enough PIA out of yourself there that they're going to release you.
Yep.
And then the plan all along was, this is going to happen. Next thing you know, he gets released within hours. He and Tom Brady are out home shopping in the Boston area.
Yeah.
Which does raise a lot of questions. Who was talking to who? Were the Patriots talking to Antonio Brown's agent? I don't know, but it does kind of stink of that a little bit.
I mean, you're not allowed to talk to anybody, other teams. You're not really, but how do you police that? How do you find out who's doing what or who said what?
Whoever his agent is, it doesn't represent only Antonio Brown. It represents 50, 60, 100 players, whatever it is. He can have a conversation with Belichick or a GM up in New England. And hey, by the way,
And you got guys playing all-star games, charity events, fundraisers, and they get to know these guys. Say, hey, why don't you come and play with me and get out of where you're at? You don't want to deal with that. And before you know it, boom.
Yeah.
I mean, in our society nowadays, everyone wants everything yesterday, and they want what they want now, and they don't want to wait around.
Yeah.
And they don't want to pay their dues, and it's happening in pro sports all the time, and all different sports. Now, football-wise, college football, Clemson continues to roll to 3-0, right?
Yeah.
Alabama 3-0 as well.
Georgia, LSU.
Georgia, same old thing.
Looking a little stronger this year.
They're really good. They got quarterback played out, and they got an offense. They never had an offense for years.
Yeah.
It was always just grind it out and pound it.
Yeah.
But they look very, very strong.
Yeah, Vanderbilt actually is playing in conference this week, but it's Vanderbilt.
Yeah. Oklahoma looks good too. Defensively, I don't know.
Yeah, Alabama's got
Ohio State,
South Michigan.
Yeah.
So the real games haven't started yet.
It's the same old thing. Those guys, the top 10 never really lose.
Yeah.
Notre Dame goes to Georgia this week. That should be interesting. Mm-hmm. That should tell a lot. I think Georgia is very, very, very good.
Yeah.
And I think they pound Notre Dame into submission. That's my.
You heard it here first?
Yeah, I don't see how they don't at home. Too big, too fast, too strong for Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And then you got Michigan goes to Wisconsin. That's another big one. Wisconsin is very, very good with Jonathan Taylor, who's a Heisman candidate. Probably the argument could be the best back in the country, running back.
Yep.
That's a big game. And then you've got Auburn goes to Texas A&M. Bo Nix, who's a true freshman quarterback for Auburn, whose father played for Auburn, was a quarterback. Oh, he played for Texas A&M, actually. Played for for them years ago, and then he's a true freshman. He gets his first true test at College Station in Texas A&M, so that should be a good test for them. Oklahoma State goes to Texas. It's another big game. Mm-hmm. So we'll see, but it's a kind of the same old thing. Trevor Lawrence has been playing okay. Tua's been playing the lights out.
Yep.
So we'll see how that pans out. UCF has been playing pretty well. They're still undefeated. They can score a lot of points. UConn goes to Indiana this week. Big ball game. 28-point underdog.
They've already surpassed last year.
They won a game.
Anything else is gravy.
They won a game. Yeah,
they beat Massapequa High School.
Yeah, they beat the tough Wagner.
One of the things while we're talking, I know we're not done with college football, but while we're talking about it is, I think it's Utah, state of Utah, and California, getting really close to passing legislation that college football players get paid above the
in
scholarship.
In those states?
In those states only, yeah. Which is very strange to me, because how can you have, say, University of Arizona and UCLA are both recruiting the same kid?
Right.
Oh, by the way, we'll give you a full ride.
How's that fall under NCAA rules too?
Yeah, that's what I don't quite understand.
I don't know if that'll ever come to fruition.
I mean, because you can't have that.
Yeah.
The guy's going to decide to go to Arizona or USC. He gets a full ride at Arizona, academic help, this, that, and the other thing. He gets all that stuff at USC, and oh, by the way, you get a salary.
I don't know. I don't know how, that's a whole different.
There's a lot of wacky stuff out west.
It's a whole different world out there,
legislatures and things like that.
I mean, those guys.
Up the breaking news. It's 3-2 Rockies right now. Mets are trying to make a little comeback here.
Wow. In Colorado too.
In Colorado.
Colorado's a funny team. The Rockies. They got a nice lineup with Arenado. And Trevor Story and Daniel Murphy and Charlie's what's Charlie's last name? Blackman, the center fielder. They've got those 4 good hitters.
And Alonso's hit is now 49th.
Oh, he got one?
Run. Yeah, he got it in the 6th inning today.
Wow.
This is getting exciting.
It's amazing.
Now we're just jumping all over the place. Terry Callaway came under a little heat last week because he sat him. He said, I think he's a little tired or whatever else.
Yeah.
You're 26 years old. Get out there.
Exactly.
Now you're 26 years old. You got a chance to break history.
Yeah.
There's no record for most home runs for a second guy in baseball. I'm sure there is.
2 weeks you can rest 6 months, all right?
Exactly. You play all the golf you want.
Yeah. You'd be like Sleeping Beauty there. Just sleep the whole freaking winter. It don't matter.
448 feet was the home run today. So 3-2. We'll keep an eye on that.
He's something else.
Yeah.
Whoever thought that McNeil and Alonso would be have the year that they have.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
If you go back in the archives, you called a little bit. I mean, last year you were talking about both of these guys.
Oh, let them play.
In the summer before the call-up.
Let them play.
Let them get up there.
Let them play. See what they can do.
Yeah.
You never know until you get up there.
Right.
I mean, why do you have a minor league? And the guys remind you don't go and give them a chance. I mean, a lot of times they're afraid to bring them up. Same thing like we talked before. I think I said something to you about it. You have a 30-point lead as a pro in a pro team, and you don't bring in a second string guy.
Yeah.
Why not? Because he looks good. He might create a controversy, but he gets some reps just in case you need him.
Right. I say this, I'm going to sound like an idiot. That's the knock on Belichick, but it's never come back to bite.
Right.
It's never come back to bite.
Well, they were saying, why was Baker Mayfield in the game when the Jets were down by 20 with a minute and a half to go, and Baker got lit up by somebody. Pretty tough. He was fine. But, oh, my God, why is he in the game? They're up by 20. They were in total control, obviously.
Yeah.
But, the point was validated, why is he in the game? But then again, they get paid to play. So, I mean, that's a tough call. But the thing is, in pro football, if your starting quarterback gets hurt, your whole season's ruined.
Yeah.
It's obvious. Look at those 3 teams we just talked about, 4 teams.
Yeah.
They have no chance now. No chance. You know, how do you? The whole team is down and out on that. You know, defense is on the field more. Your offense, you know, Le'Veon Bell had 31 touches on Monday night. My God, the guy. You know, the guy he got hit in the sideline and coughed the ball up. He was freaking gassed. I mean, he was getting hit all day.
And that's it. I mean, there's a lot at stake with Bell.
Yeah.
So in a game that's out of control,
he gets banged up. He says, you know, I got a bad ankle. I'm not playing next week. I had enough of this baloney.
Yeah.
You know, and that happens all the time.
You know, years ago, I mean, I remember Earl Campbell was my favorite player. I mean, and he would get 40, 42 carries every single week. 31, 30, you don't, guys don't get that many carries because it's more just running back.
It's almost like a pitch count. Almost, yeah. They're all worried about, you know, guys getting hurt and whatnot. So college football this weekend had a couple of decent games. Not a couple top 20 game showdowns. Last week there was none. There was nobody in the top 10 that played each other, or nobody in the top 20. But this week we got a couple pro games. What do you got for pro games coming up this weekend? You got any decent games coming up? New England Jets, right?
I thought you were looking for good games.
Yeah. And you know what the spread in that game is? Entertainment purposes only.
Okay. If we're betting matchsticks?
It's 21.
Whoa.
Up to 21. And Miami's a 21-point dog, too. What are they playing?
So you got Baltimore.
Cowboys.
Baltimore playing the Chiefs. That could be, you know, you got 2-0 teams there.
The Cowboys are 21 against the Dolphins. At Dallas.
What's the over-under on that game?
Boy, I don't know. Raiders-Vikings, that's a big one. Raiders are going to be back to their natural stuff. Ravens-Chiefs, that's a good one at Kansas City. Probably the best game of the day.
Yeah. Monday night, you got Chicago at the Redskins.
Okay.
Sunday night, you got the Browns and the Rams.
There's no doubt in my mind the Giants beat the Buccaneers. I don't know why, but I just think that they come back.
They get their first.
They get their first and only win. They'll probably be 1-6 at some point, 1-7.
Yeah.
I thought the Bills look pretty good so far.
They have,
Big wins.
Yeah. Comeback win against the Jets.
Conquer New York. Yeah. Best team in New York.
Best team in New York.
2-0. Niners are 2-0 too. They're playing well. Chargers lost a game against Detroit. That was a tough loss.
Yeah.
Rivers threw a touchdown pick in the end zone. Saints and Seahawks. That should be something. Seahawks manage to win all the time too. I mean, Russell Wilson just a winner. The guy just a winner.
Yeah.
I mean, everything he does in his life, you know.
Yep.
Rams at the Browns. The Browns might take a little spanking in that one, I think.
You think?
That's a Sunday night game, yeah. I think the Browns have a long, long way to go. They make a lot of stupid mistakes, pre-snap penalties, offsides.
Kind of young team mistake kind of thing.
Myles Garrett was offsides like 3 times. Why? You know, relax, you know.
Yeah.
A couple of roughing the passers he had. I think Myles Garrett was the most penalized defensive player in the NFL last year as far as defensive end.
Wow.
Take your head, look at the ball. When the ball moves, then you go. All right. End of story. Or look at the play clock and see when it goes down to 1 or 2. Then you want to take a shot.
Yeah.
And take a running start or something. It's amazing the common sense or the lack of common sense that some of these guys have. But I think the biggest thing in pro football is you've got 16, 14, 15 more weeks of football. You got to stay healthy or just survive it. You know, you give it all now, and then all of a sudden you're not playing for 5, 6, 7 weeks, and it's just such a game of attrition and survival of the fittest. Just what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And these guys are so big, strong, and fast. I'm just saying the quarterbacks are getting lit up. Yeah, but look at how big these guys are.
Yeah.
How fast they are. That's why the quarterbacks got to learn how to throw the ball away or get rid of it and not hang in the pocket.
Yep.
You know, it doesn't mean you're not a tough guy.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to get rid of those. You guys got to get out of there.
Yep.
But
so in the world of golf,
I
know before we finish up here.
Yep.
How much time we have?
About 3 minutes.
Oh, I was hoping we have 33 minutes. I want to talk about
4
golf for a little bit.
4 minutes.
Okay, 4 minutes. Thanks. The Solheim Cup was this past week.
How's that?
The Solheim Cup is women professional golf. United States versus Europeans, so it doesn't include.
Where'd that name come from, Solheim?
Karsten Solheim. I'm glad you asked. Karsten Solheim was an engineer for General Electric.
Okay.
And
a few dollars in his pocket.
Started the Ping Golf Company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he's a billionaire.
Yeah, he's passed away now, but made a lot of money. His son John runs the company now. But anyway, so he created it because he had the Ryder Cup, which has gone on in men's golf for years. So Karsten kind of backed that, and so they had the Solheim Cup, and the Europeans won, which is it was pretty. Came right down to the wire. Suzanne Pettersson, a Swedish woman who had been a great player, kind of in the twilight of her career.
Who's the best women's player at this point for the United States?
For the United States.
Michelle Wee, is she still around?
Michelle Wee is injured. Just all the time, which is a terrible thing. Lexi Thompson's probably the best American.
Okay.
Both of the Korda girls, there's two sisters. Peter Korda was a great tennis player.
Yeah.
His two daughters are now great golfers. So there's a lot of strong American players, despite what Hank Haney had to say.
How's your University of Hartford women's team doing?
University of Hartford women's team, thank you for asking. We're just getting rolling. We had our first tournament up at Dartmouth last weekend.
Okay.
We'll go to Boston College this week coming up.
Okay.
Got 3 new freshmen on campus.
Okay, nice.
Starting to contribute a little bit.
How many kids you got coming back from last year?
We returned 5.
5, wow.
And brought in 3 freshmen, so we got 8 players on the roster.
So that's like 8. How many kids play at one given course?
So in a tournament.
Tournament, I mean, yeah.
And a lot of people ask, what conference are you in? And the other thing. College golf is not like college football or baseball where you play all the teams in your conference.
Right.
So generally, the only tournament where we see everybody in the conference is the conference championship, which is down at Disney in April. So at Dartmouth, there was, I think, 14 teams.
And who's in the conference? All different levels of teams, like Ivy League and everybody here?
In the conference, it's all pretty close. The University of Albany is very good right now. We need their seniors to just get out, graduate, because they're a real strong team. The rest of them are all relatively pretty close. But at an invitational, the invitationals have nothing to do with conference.
Okay.
So at Dartmouth, obviously, you had a lot of the Ivies. Harvard won it. Yale was there. Brown was there. Dartmouth, obviously, is their home tournament. Hartford was there. Siena, Albany, Quinnipiac, Merrimack, all these different schools. Mm-hmm. So, but the team
There's one Division 1, 2, and 3. Basically, is just all kind of.
This is all Division 1.
All Division 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you play 5 players.
Okay.
In each round.
Okay.
And in each round, you take the low 4 scores.
Okay.
So if it happens that, like last year, we actually played really well up at Dartmouth, and we had one girl shoot. She was our number 3. She shot, I think, 82 or 83 the first day. That was our drop. We didn't need that score. She came back the next day, shot even par 72, and somebody who shot 80 the next day or whatever. So it's on that stipulated round, whoever has the high score goes.
Okay.
As things happen, generally we take, a lot of the tournaments will bring an individual. So this year we had at Dartmouth last week, we had one of our freshmen, got to play in a college tournament, but her score didn't contribute to the team. Okay. So she just went out and played. Okay. So it's a chance to get some players some reps, especially a freshman. You're at your next level now. Then there's always that step up with maybe a little bit of nerves because you're playing at a higher level. So it gives them a chance to kind of.
Your scores kind of run true to form as far as like the scores that they practice with. They kind of look pretty consistent as far as their scores. Or?
That's the thing of golf. It's and the lower score you shoot, the easier it is for it to go. Right, you're going along, and like our 1s and 2s and 3s even, they're going to shoot 70 to 75 most rounds. But you make that one swing, the ball goes out of bounds, this, that, and the other thing. Next thing you know, you make a triple.
Okay.
So it's a little sensitive to that.
On your back.
So you got to be careful with that. Right. Yeah, so it's the fall is of the 2 semesters. The fall is my favorite because there's a lot more action going on.
And everything,
and they're all right together. In the spring we play in March, and then we don't do anything for a month. So.
And women's golf is a 2-season sport.
Yeah, they have we'll play 5 tournaments in the spring or in the fall. Okay. And 4, maybe 5 in the spring semester.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, George. That wraps up week number 2 from our fall agenda.
Fall agenda.
All right.
Very good.
All right.